Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to a very truncated match, second match of the day between the Houston Hurricanes and the ACZ Women Fire. Needless to say, we've had a lot of rain around, and frankly, the umpires and staff and groundskeepers have done everything that they could to make sure that we have some type of game. So we have decided to play a 10-over match. And given that we're playing a 10-over match, it's now the case that everything is going to be helter-skelter. And all of the infrastructure and scorers and commentators and everybody are running around in a rush. But at the end of the day, we're looking to get this match going. So the openers are Jessica Wilamathamuga. Please forgive me for not saying that properly, Jessica. My apologies. And Ritu Singh. Ritu Singh managed to score 100 in this morning's match. She played 100 off of 42 balls. And she and Jessica are going here. Bearing in mind, we're playing a 10-over match, so everything happens at a helter-skelter, frenetic pace. Opening bowler is Pooja Shah. And one delivery remaining in this, the first over. Once again, we're playing 10 overs. And so the power play, instead of being 6 overs, is going to be 3 overs. And you expect, even with the frenetic pace of a T20, that frenetic pace will be doubled because you have literally half the amount of time in which to do your work. Last delivery of the first over, and it is pulled. Oh, that's a good stop at short mid-wicket. That is a great stop. That is the captain, Celeste Detroit, getting down on her hands and knees to make sure that ball doesn't get by. So that concludes a very good first over in the context of things. That's by Pooja. 1 over for 7 runs in a T10 match is actually bowling very, very well. And so that is the end of the first over. At the end of the over, the score is 7 without loss. Okay, my apologies. That appeared to not have been the first at the end of the over. Unless we are bowling only from one end. And it appears that that's the case. So, in fact, that was the end of the first over. And now the second over is being bowled by Ria Nadkarni. But once again, it appears that we're only playing from one end. Maybe that's to conserve time. Maybe it's because the pitch that's flashed away over the top, that's going to run away for 4. That's a typically aggressive shot from Ritu Singh. Received a little bit of width from Ria Nadkarni, and she pounces all over it and cuts it away for 4. So I started saying there is, I believe, a trouble area on the wicket, on the northern end of the ground, at the Pearland end. There's a spot that I believe that they are concerned about, and as such have made the decision to only play from one end, which I think is the right decision. Ritu Singh, 10 from 5 so far. Jessica Wilamathamuga, I think is how you say that. She's 1 from 3. And once again, we are playing a T10 match. So just 10 overs. And you'd see how much work can be done in this short period of time. Very full and defended to short mid-wicket for no run. Ria Nadkarni being asked here to do what you'd like to think any good opening bowler would do inside the power play. Just limit the big shots. So there's a fielder at deep mid-wicket on the boundary. There's a fielder at deep point. And those are the 2 outside the circle. And that's all that's allowed outside the circle. Short of a length, and it is forced to backward point. They run through for a single. This is good bowling by Ria Nadkarni. And if the name Nadkarni sounds familiar to you, that's because Ria Nadkarni is the daughter of the great Sushil Nadkarni, current director of USA Cricket and former captain and opening batter. One of the better batters that you've seen in the USA, probably in the history of its cricket. Oh, clean bowler, right in the block hole. Jessica playing all across that one. And Ria Nadkarni knocks over Jessica Willeth-Gamua. So that is good bowling by Ria. Once again, full and straight. And probably should have been playing that one back down the wicket, Jessica. But choosing instead to try to go across the line and paying the price by having her leg stump removed. And we'll see a replay here shortly, but I think my analysis is probably accurate, where she just essentially went across a straight ball. And after having made the decision to play across, look, playing a cross-batted shot in cricket is pretty much only recommended if the ball is not on the stumps. So if it's a bouncer, you can hook. If it's a short ball that's outside the line of off stump, you can cut. But if it's on the stumps and not bouncing over, then it's up to you to play straight, because you're taking chances if you play across a straight ball. I always use the analogy that a baseball player, the best baseball players in the world, the best baseball hitters, fail 65% of the time. And that's because in baseball, you're hitting across a straight ball. So when you're looking to pull or hit a ball in baseball, you're going across the line technically. So that's why it's difficult to hit. When you do that in cricket, it's pretty terminal if the ball is on the stumps. And in this case, Jessica Willeth-Gamua loses her middle stump. That is the end of the second over. And at the end of 2, the score is 12 for 1. So this will be Pooja to continue. Outside the line of off, not signaled wide. So once again, only 10 overs to be bowled in this match. And so if you've already made inroads, you're doing exactly what you want to do here. And number one, you've slowed down the scoring rate. And then number two, you've put yourself in a position where you can sort of, this is a check drive and it's running over the top, over down to deep cover for a single. So as I started saying, you've put yourself in the position where you can actually start to boss the game. In other words, if you're playing a T10 as a bowling side, you're almost always on the back foot. But it feels like after that wicket, and really with good bowling so far, that the Houston Hurricanes are actually managing to put pressure on the batting side, which is a hard thing to do when you're playing in a T20 or in a T10 match. This is forced back down the wicket. There's no room for a run there. This is good bowling. So 3 deliveries so far. Pooja Shah, none for 8 overall, and then certainly only has conceded 1 run from this over so far. So really good, accurate bowling so far. Bearing in mind we're only looking at another 45 balls in this innings. Very limited number of opportunities to score. By the way, I never did say it, but the new batter is Geetika Kodali. So at the wicket right now are Geetika Kodali and Ritu Singh. 2 of the more exciting young cricketers that you'll find anywhere in this country, male or female. Geetika Kodali and Ritu Singh, both all-rounders. And Ritu is the captain today. Well outside the line of off and signaled wide. So just to give you a sense of what we're talking about with both of these batters, both have represented and are currently in the U.S. national team, the senior women's team setup. Both are truly young, exciting players. This is lofted in the air, deep towards deep cover. And I think all they'll get is just that one. That's good work by the fielder in the deep to be able to get to it. So as far as Geetika Kodali is concerned, 24 matches, 402 runs, and 15 wickets. So she will impact the game with both bat and ball. With the bat, she averages 46.33, a strike rate of 156.18, which is just insanity. That is really, really good work by her. And with that strike rate of 156, her high score is 63. And then with the ball, Geetika, 28 overs, 137 runs, and 6 wickets in T20s. 12 overs, 45 runs, and 4 wickets in one days. And so very accomplished with both bat and ball. And we'll get to Ritu's numbers here after this delivery. This is Rhea Nadkarni. By the way, that is the end of the third over. The score is 16 for 1. Ritu, very accomplished. The numbers jump off the page. Looking big, losing her shape just a little bit there. Looking to get after the bowling. Once again, you don't have much time, so I don't mind her looking to be so aggressive. 547 matches across all formats. 5,238 runs and 455 wickets. At the highest level, well, let's deal with her NWCL stats first. 1259 runs, 27 average, a strike rate of 115. High score of 104, which happened a couple of hours ago this morning. 1 century and 4 50s. Power hitter. 13 times she's passed 25. She's had in her career playing in the NWCL 134 fours and 41 sixes. So she is genuinely a power-packed player. And not to mention that she's a multi-sport star, plays softball at a very high level, and is also an accomplished gymnast. Slamming that through the covers, that's going to run away for 4. Even on the wet outfield, that was drilled past the captain, Celeste de Toit, at short cover, and it races away through, even with the wet outfield. And again, we've had a lot of rain around the last couple of hours, but even with that wet outfield, that ball is still racing away for 4. So Rhea Nadkarni has a little bit of a think, because she's going to need to pull things back. And this is struck in the air powerfully, but straight down the ground, too long off. And so that should just be a single, and it is just a single. Once again, we are playing a 10-over match, so we're 3 overs and 3 deliveries into the 10th over. And bearing in mind that it's a 10-over match, we're now outside of the power play. Power play only the first 3. That's a full toss, and it's a no ball, and it got hit for 6. Whoa, look at that. So it's full down the leg side. Ritu Singh taking full toll of it. In fact, that was Geetika Kodali taking full toll and ripping that one behind square all the way for 6. And on top of that, because it's a full toss above waist height, it's a no ball. So a little bit of trouble being run into here for Rhea Nadkarni. That full toss and 6 means that this next delivery is a free hit. So you could potentially have as much as 13 runs from one legal delivery. And she plays a scoop shot that's running close to the boundary. And in fact, it goes all the way to the boundary for 4. So taking full advantage that time, Geetika Kodali playing that little scoop shot. No risk in the shot, obviously, with it being a free hit. And not only does it not get her out, it couldn't have gotten her out, but not only is she not out, it does race away past short third for her second boundary. So a 6 and a 4. 3 scoring strokes for Geetika Kodali so far. A single, a 6, and a 4. Now she looks to go big and misses this one outside the line of off stump. So just one ball remaining here in this, the fourth over by Ria Nadkarni. And all of a sudden, the bowling was really good up until the last several deliveries, because now in this truncated form of the game, the batters can take many more risks, and the game only lasts for about an hour and a half if you go the entire way. This is a good delivery and stroked into the covers for no run. Throw coming to the non-striker's end. Easily could have had a run out there. But that is the last ball of the over. Good productive over for the ACZ Women's Fire. By the way, just to let you know, the Houston Hurricanes won the toss and inserted the ACZ Women's Fire. They may be regretting that now, because they're off to the races, and a lot of activity in the last few deliveries means that the score is now 32-1 after 8. So we'll be right back. So my apologies, I just misspoke. I said 32-1 after 8. That's only because I was doing the math in my head subconsciously. I meant 32-1 after 4, so the scoring rate is 8 runs and over. And now it appears that we have switched ends. So apparently the umpires have decided that it is acceptable to bowl on both ends of the wicket. So this is now Tia Chowdhury. Oh my goodness. She slips and falls. First, we need to check and see if she's okay. But because of the fact that the ball left her hand and it bounced a number of times, obviously she would not have been able to control that, because it was bouncing and rolling as she was falling. But technically, it is a free hit. It is a no ball, because the ball, any ball that bounces twice, and we've seen that happen a number of times already today. But even though it happens by accident, even though she slipped, obviously lost her balance, anytime that happens and the ball is released from your hand, it cannot bounce more than once before it gets to the batter. So unfortunately, Tia Chowdhury is going to have to be bowling a free hit delivery here. Outside the line of off, umpire Aubrey Davis having a good look and then deciding that it was not outside the wide line. So she gets away with it there. Probably some poetic justice, because by right it was not her fault, so to speak. And you still have to be punished for bowling that delivery because you slipped. But unfortunately, doesn't appear that it would have caused a whole lot of trouble. They run through and scramble, but in fact, those are wides. So they run for 1, but the ball itself was wide. So 2 more runs to the total. And things are happening in bunches here. Once again, we're playing a very truncated match. It's only 10 overs. We're into the 5th over. So after this over, we'll be halfway through the innings. And it's a 35-1 score. Outside the line of off, and again signaled wide by umpire Aubrey Davis. This is the time in the broadcast where I typically say there's 29 of you online watching. If you would like to engage in a conversation, because it is extremely difficult to talk by myself for an entire match, so I'd love to hear from you. If there's anything that you can add to the discussion, or to just jump in and say hi, that would be fine too. So good delivery, that last one. It's just punched to mid-off for no run. So Tia Chowdhury, the daughter of the great Mitali Chowdhury, former professional player. And Mitali Chowdhury is now a coach right here in Houston. Looking across the line, looking to go big, and an appeal for LBW. Umpire Davis is not interested, and then there's a signal for leg by. it becomes something that you have to pay attention to, because the conditions being the way that they are, you're going to want to be careful. So you want to make sure that you don't put yourself in the position where you hurt. Good delivery around the corner, and it cannot be fielded by backward square leg, and she'll concede a couple of runs. I said good delivery. I meant the line was good. I meant the length, rather, was good. The line was a little too straight going down the leg side, and it's just clipped around the corner for a couple. Shot was played by Ritu Singh. She's now up to 20 from 17. Geetika Kodali, 11 from 9. In the air over extra cover. That is a lovely stroke for me. That's the shot of the day. I've said that a couple of times so far today. That is the best shot that I've seen all day. Elevated over the top of extra cover. Races away to the boundary. Once again, there's a lot of dew or a lot of wetness out there. It's rained a significant amount in the last couple of hours, but not even the heavy outfield because of the rain was going to keep that from racing away to the boundary. Beautiful, beautiful stroke by Ritu Singh. She's now up to 24 from 18. And she goes big down the ground. That's going to be 4 more. So Ritu Singh, once again, scoring this morning 104 off of 42 balls with 24s and 2 6s. So that alone tells you that she's a player who can score runs heavily. And this last ball of this over, just lofting it straight down the ground. Effortless stroke. And again, she is a stroke maker. She absolutely is a stroke maker. This pair can be very destructive on their day. Each of them is very accomplished with both ball and bat. And that last one just lofting it down the ground for 4. So 5 overs up. We're halfway through the innings. The score is 47 for 1. And we have a change in bowling. This is Lasya Bandaru. She will be bowling to Geetika Kodali. Right arm over the wicket, outside the line of off stump. And too far outside the line of off stump for the liking of umpire Davis. Lasya, right arm over the wicket. Swipe and a miss outside the line of off, but again, too far outside for umpire Davis's liking, and the arms go up for the second consecutive time in this over. So Lasya Bandaru, 139 matches, 1,862 runs and 60 wickets. And on the T20 circuit, as far as the National Women's Cricket League is concerned, in 20 matches, she's batted for 16 innings and scored 148 runs. But more to the point, bowling, 20 matches, 68.5 overs, conceded 398 runs, but taken 18 wickets. Had a very good average of 22.11. An economy rate less than a run a ball, which is always good, 5.78. And takes a wicket every 23 balls that she bowls. This one now goes down the leg side. Unfortunately, this may be 5 wides. It does get to the boundary. And there's a signal from umpire Davis. So things are not going the way that you want them right now. If you are the Houston Hurricanes. And the score now racing upwards. It's now 55. 55 for 1 from 11 balls, and still no legal deliveries bowled. So 4 consecutive deliveries have been bowled, and all 4 have been wide. And then that last one went down the leg side, again down the leg side, and it's fumbled by the keeper. They'll get 2. Well, no, they just run 1, but watch umpire Davis. There it is again. So another wide, which means that 10 runs have already been scored from this over, and we have not yet had a legal delivery. So this is a bit of a shocker for Lassia. And here she is again, down the leg side, but this time it's played to square leg. Oh, mix up. Almost had both batters at the same end at the same time. But that is the first legal delivery that has been bowled in this over. So still bowling a little too straight, but I can tell you sometimes when you bowl so much down the leg side, the one that you get right is the one that the batter can sometimes make a mistake on. So both Ritu Singh and Geetika Kadali are going to have to be careful here. This is punched down the ground for a single. Score racing up to 58 for 1 from 5.2. Once again, we're only playing 10 overs. So there's only 28 balls remaining in this innings. Next delivery. Good ball. Appeal and given. So I've seen it happen 100 times in my life. If there is a bowler who is having trouble finding the right line, the second that he or she finds the right line is the most dangerous delivery. Because here you see Geetika Kadali, everything has been going down the leg side. So Geetika looking to play on the leg side, swinging completely across the line. Umpire Davis thinking about it for a little bit and then raising the left forefinger, signifying the end of Geetika Kadali's innings. So a good comeback by Lassia, who was having an absolute shocker, but she does well enough to come back and get a wicket. It is so important to make sure that you get yourself back into the flow of things, and she's able to do that here. 3 legal deliveries, even though she's run into ball now 7 times. Make that 8 times, with 5 times umpire Aubrey Davis raising the arms to signal wide, but that last delivery, he only raised 1 arm, and in fact it was his forefinger, indicating that that struck Geetika Kadali plumb in front. So, an interesting over so far. Several wides, 1 run off the bat, and already 1 wicket, and we're only halfway through this over. 5.3 overs have been bowled. 58 for 2 is the score, and the new batter is Afia Kazi. That is a good ball. That is where she wants to be 10 times out of 10. It's just defended to mid or to mid-on. But boy, it is always good to see if a bowler is having trouble finding the right line, or to a lesser extent the right length. Once they finally get it right, it makes a big difference, because it becomes dangerous for the batting side, who's been accustomed to several balls not on target. When the one does come on target, those can be the most dangerous. So that's a single to square leg. So 1 ball remaining here in the 6th. Already 12 runs coming from it. Of those 12, 10 have been wides. This is played off the back foot into the covers for no run. So, bit again of a shocker of an over to start. But she does well, does Lassia Bandaru, to come back and take a wicket, breaking the dangerous partnership that was forming between Geetika Kadali and Ritu Singh. So at the end of 6, the score is 59 for 2. $59 for 2. Last 4 overs about to be bowled. And we have a little bit of leg spin now, as this is Sai Tanmai. Sai Tanmai Iyuni. Leg spinner bowling now to Ritu Singh. Ritu 29 from 22. She's been there long enough. She is settled. look out for her to go big here. Oh, just for a split second, she wanted to pull that over mid-wicket, but I realized that she checked the shot and changed her mind halfway through playing that shot. So that's a good sign. She wanted to go big over mid-wicket, but there's a fielder right at deep mid-wicket. She changed her mind. Now she doesn't change her mind here. She hits it down the ground. One bounce in front of long off. That is a single. And this is a good over underway so far from Sai Tanmahi. First 3 deliveries have only yielded 1 run. This is lofted down the ground, catchable. The bowler herself is not able to get to it. It stayed in the air for a really long time. You thought that she could have had the time to get there, but ended up not being able to get there, and then the batters, not able to take that catch. And my apologies, I might have missed a no ball. So there's a bit of a no ball here. And that's lofted down the ground. It goes all the way for 6. That is a huge hit. It is not surprising that Ritu Singh is one who can absolutely light things on fire. Tossed up delivery, and she just slaps it down the ground for 6. She's a magnificent, magnificent player. And that 6 lofted down the ground means that there's only 2 balls to go, and she looks to go through the offside, does Ritu Singh, not making contact. No, just 1 ball remaining. Tossed up, goes off the back foot, undercuts this delivery, and it runs behind square down to short third, and they run through for a single. That single completes the 7th over. At the end of 7, only another 3 remaining. Once again, we're playing 10 over a match today, and it is 70 for 2. So change in bowling again. This is Kirtana Boya, who will be bowling, coming in to bowl the 8th over. Kirtana, right armor, bowling to Ritu Singh. Ritu now 37 from 27. Hammered it through the offside, and nobody's going to be able to get there. That is a lovely, lovely shot by Ritu Singh. Pouncing onto the back foot and carving it through point. Actually a little in front of point, but still way too square for the sweeper on the offside to be able to get to it. So once it got through the inner ring, it was always going to run away for 4. Good start to the over. Ritu Singh now up to 41 from 28. In the air, down to wide, long on. Just 1. Going back to Lassia Bandaru. We saw her bowl 2 overs ago. She's obviously from right here in Houston and plays for the NCAC in Houston. The club is run by Mr. Vinod Nair, who's one of the more prominent faces in the Houston area, and particularly in the realm of youth and women's cricket. Vinod Nair does really good work in that space. Any amount of work that is done with the intent of developing women's cricket and youth cricket is something that I am passionately happy about. And so certainly something that we should celebrate. This next ball going down the leg side. I believe that these may be wides. Let's see what umpire. Yep, there is a wide signal. So once again, a few more wides than you'd like if you are the Houston Hurricanes. So far, 18 extras by my unofficial count. Those 18 extras constituting 24% of the runs scored in this inning so far. This is dragged in the gap, deep mid wicket. Good sprint across by that fielder at deep mid wicket and preventing that from going to the boundary. And in fact, they only get one run. So that's a good piece of fielding in the deep. Another 2 remaining here in the 8th. And the score now moving up to 79 for 2. Down the ground. Not timed well that time by Ritu Singh. And in fact, just conceding a single. So 1 ball remaining here in the 8th. So after this over, there's only 2 overs remaining in this half of the innings. So 80 runs is a decent score given the truncated form of the game. This is clipped to deep square leg. Do they come back for 2? No, they don't. A good strong throw. In fact, the throw was a little offline, so that potentially could have yielded a second run. But don't worry about that now. The score is 81 for 2 after 8, scoring at the rate of 10.13. So, and look at this. Bright, maybe not quite bright sunshine, but there is sunshine across the board, across the ground. And if I'm not mistaken, they're walking off. Does that mean that they reduced it even further? Is it an 8-over game? Well, we stand to be corrected on it. We believe that in fact, we were informed that it was going to be a 10-over match. Everyone seems to be walking off. So maybe it's been reduced to an 8-over match. We'll get that clarified as soon as possible. But either way, after 8, the score is 81 for 2. So just to clarify where we are in this match between the ACZ Women's Fire and the Houston Hurricanes, as I suspected, the match has been reduced to an 8-over match. So it's even more of a truncated match than ordinarily would be because of the threat of rain around and wanting to get, after this match, another match in before the end of the day. The decision has been made to have it be an 8-over match. And so 8 overs, the ACZ Women's Fire scored 81 runs, which means that the Houston Hurricanes have the small matter of 82 runs to score in 8 overs. And I'm absolutely pleased to be joined here in the commentator's booth by Miss Mira Subramanian. Good afternoon, Mira.
Good afternoon, Brian. How is it going?
Oh, it is absolutely lovely. The best thing about it is that I don't have to sit here talking by myself anymore. I've told you how absolutely difficult that is.
You're doing a fabulous job, and it's going really well, I must say. So you're doing something right here.
Well, from what you've seen in the short time that you've been here, this tournament obviously just starting today, but talk a little bit about what you first of all, for people who don't know, say why you're sitting here and what is in your background that allows you to speak with confidence on what you're seeing here, and then talk a little bit about what you've seen in the match so far.
So my name is Meera Subramaniam, of course, and I'm from Massachusetts, Boston, but I have had, I'm an ex-cricketer from back home, which is India, and I've played first-class cricket. So my passion was to see how we can bring the Massachusetts Chickadees, which is called the team, into the radar and help the women who have passion but have not had the opportunity to play back in India. Because, growing up, it was very difficult. It wasn't easy. Cricket was not a game where everyone was given the opportunity. They looked at you like, cricket? Really? So that was a tough time, which we all worked really hard. And the only reason we did that was because of passion. We loved the game of cricket, and we wanted to be there. We wanted to play. So we really worked hard in the sense we didn't have mats, and the times when we were playing, I remember we used to have just 2 bats, I think, the luxury of having 2 bats, 1 pair of gloves, 1 pair of pads, and the whole team was sharing that. That's how it was. So, but we did everything only because we loved the game and we wanted to be somewhere and we wanted to play. So I played for Karnataka and I was there, for a little bit, came here, then dropped the game. I had family and, career, everything takes over when I come to the US. So I think the game is starting. So let me continue as soon as we see the batsman now taking stance.
Well, before the game starts, what did you think about the first innings?
First innings was fantastic. I think the run rate was fabulous. Ritu Singh, as always, is the star. Did a fabulous job, and her partner also helped her. I think it was the opening was, I'm trying to remember who it was.
Well, she and Gitka put on a pretty good partnership too, right?
Gitka, yes, that's true. And I think I must applaud the team, the fielders too. They did a fabulous job, and I see that the first ball being bowled, a shot caught by the wicketkeeper, no run.
So this is Jessica. I'm going to need you to help me with her last name. I'm having all kinds of trouble with it.
Well, let me try. If I fail.
Well, you won't fail. And I've been failing all day. It is
Villata Gamu.
Well, if you can
Gamuwa. Villata Gamuwa. Oh my God. I think I messed it up.
See, I have a built-in excuse, right?
Yes, you do.
Jessica this time overcorrecting and going down the leg side. So first 2 deliveries, one too far outside the line of off, and the other now too far down the leg side. Interestingly, the captain Ritu Singh is the one with the gloves in her hand. She's not the typical keeper. She's very athletic, but not the one who ordinarily keeps. That's a good ball. First one was too wide, the second too straight. This one is bang on target, but it's a no ball. Just notice that umpire Aubrey Davis extending the arm, signaling that Jessica may have in fact, not may have, she did overstep. And so this is going to be a free hit, so not the best of starts here for Jessica. Free hit delivery, only succeeding in hitting it to mid-wicket, though, for no run. So that's a good delivery in the context of where they were in this state of the game. But you are starting out here with a lot of extras, only one legal delivery bolt so far. What would you tell a bowler who's having trouble finding the right length and the right line?
I think what the bowler has to do is basically take a little bit on, a couple of steps back if she's not getting the length and line, and try to see if she can pitch it in the right place. And here comes the ball. A very good ball indeed.
Much better delivery. Very full and on the stumps. A bit of a risky shot, actually, that time by Tia Chowdhury, because she's playing across a pretty straight delivery. Matter of fact, we need to confirm which of the Tias is out there. It may be Tia Gonzalez. So I may have had that wrong. But either way, Tia and Pooja are at the wicket, short of a length, and defended into the covers for no run.
Beautiful delivery, I think. That was a very good ball. Did not give any runs for that ball.
So I am very partial toward any left-arm bowler because several years ago, sometime in the Reagan administration, that is a good shot. That's going to run away for 4. Powered away a little bit too straight. That angle, left arm around the wicket, going down the leg side, and 4 easy runs picked up that time by Pooja. So as I was saying, sometime in the Reagan administration, I was a decent left-arm fast bowler myself. And so any bowler who bowls left arm is somebody who I immediately pay attention to. But tell me if you think that this is accurate. When I played, I found it easier or found it more challenging for the other batter or for the batter to hit me if I'm bowling over the wicket. Slanting it in from around the wicket on that angle sort of helps the batter to hit big shots on the leg side. I've always found it better to create the angle going across. So from over the wicket, I've thought was always a better angle.
Over the wicket, yes, of course, but it all depends on, what kind of a batter who's there in front. Mm-hmm. So if they're strong on the leg side, you can see them going for the shots. But if not, I think those are tough balls. And, to face a left-hander, it's not easy, especially going around the wicket. I see that there's a lot of needed improvement for a batsman to really think through this because, and I totally enjoy left-handers, very stylish. And I think, I'm telling you, I love left-handers. I think it's very stylish, and also they're able to flight the ball, which is very tempting. Mm-hmm. And also, and here comes the bowler.
So this bowler is Adanya. This ball outside off, and Ritu Singh not able to collect it. So not only, I think, is that a wide, in fact, here we see the signal coming from umpire. It's a no ball. So it's a no ball, ostensibly because it pitched off of the pitch. I don't need to see that replay. But either way, it's going to be a no ball and a free hit. It was either that Adanya overstepped or it was that the ball pitched off of the playing surface. But I don't think it was that wide. So I'm going to assume that she overstepped. But either way, this is a free hit. And that free hit is a wide, so it will continue to be a free hit. So once again, if a bowler is having trouble landing it in the right line of length, or the right line or the right length, and you're a senior player or the captain, what do you walk over and say to her?
I would tell go around the wicket and see if you can, get the batter and see if you can pitch it right as a good length ball so that they won't have an opportunity to hit, but just defend. The ball is staying very low, I see. The first, I think when they started the game, it was rising a little bit, but now I see that it is much lower. Brian, don't you think so?
I would agree with that. And also, in looking, that's exactly what it is. So these are deliveries that are so wide that they're landing off of the pitch. So that's why the last couple have been called no ball. And it's good to get clarification on that replay.
Absolutely.
And
that's a catch.
Lofted, catchable, but of course it's a free hit, so it doesn't cost anything, and it's still a live ball. So good on them to recognize that and keep running. So that is actually the first legal delivery that was bowled in this over. So one legal ball has been bowled. 5 runs have scored from the over so far. You say you tell her to go around the wicket. Say more about that.
I think if she was to go around the wicket, I think she would at least avoid the wide, which is again a no ball, I believe.
Yeah.
So she should probably start looking at her run up, number 1, and then go around the wicket. I think definitely she will do better. And I'm surprised that the captain has not yet asked her to do that.
These deliveries, I think, are swinging. And looking at the replays, they're swinging down, swinging away from the right-hander. So partly because it's a good thing to do, but in fact, we'll get back to that shortly. As this is lofted down the ground, that's going to be at least 4. In fact, it goes all the way for 6. So that is a good strike, and not so kind of a nightmare of an over being bowled here by Adanya. But in looking at the replay, it appears that the ball is swinging away from the right-handed batter. So for me, if she grips it cross seam that it doesn't swing, that probably is one way of being able to get the ball from. That one was just wide the entire way.
Yeah.
But the previous one that was wide was swinging. And this is powered away to mid or backward square leg. That's going to be, good sliding stop down there by that fielder on the boundary. I think that's Jessica. And that is a good sliding stop and limits the damage to 2. But
Brian, for me, I always get confused with Jessica and Geetika.
Uh-huh.
They look so alike on the field. I've just been saying, that's Geetika. And then they say, no, absolutely not. That's Jessica.
Well, the one way that I can tell is that if they throw left-handed, then it's Jessica. If it's right-handed, then it's Geetika.
You're right. Absolutely.
So just another 59 runs needed, 39 balls in which to get them. This is off the outside edge to backward point for no run. So you've had interactions with both Jessica and with Geetika.
Yes.
And probably with Ritu also.
Yes.
So just kind of talk about, not necessarily each specific one, but just your role as a mentor and somebody who these young cricketers can look up to.
I think they have a lot of potential, and, the amount of games now they're exposed to playing during. I see the bowler coming in to bowl and a good length. No run taken at this point.
Another no ball.
Yeah,
and these deliveries are just landing. She's not able to land them on the playing surface.
I think
once again,
I have a feeling that she should go round the wicket and try and see if she can bring it in. So that way it'll cut and then go out where the wicketkeeper will be able to take that ball.
So yet another free hit.
And going back to Geetika and Ritu and Jessica, I think these kids have been doing really good. And
lofted down the ground. That was misjudged. Had she stayed back on the rope, she easily, it wouldn't have mattered if she took the catch because it's a free hit, but she would have prevented a 4. So looking at the replay here, clean strike down the ground. She came running in that fielder when she should have just stayed back. And again, no point in trying to catch it because it's a free hit, so it would not have been out anyway. But it does go for 4, which is really matters in the context of this game. Now this one is too much down the leg side, and a really expensive over continues here for Adania. Adania ball.
Yeah, she's been putting in a lot of wides. One thing I see is the captain not going and talking to her.
Good ball. And it's lofted down the ground, catchable, and it goes through her hands on the boundary at long on. And I believe goes for 6. Let's see the signal from umpire Aubrey Davis. That should have been a wicket and 20 runs. Instead, it's going to be either 24 or 26 runs and no wicket. There's your signal. 26 runs coming from the over. Should have just been 20 runs and a wicket. And it's lofted straight down the ground. Oh, my goodness, had she been back on the ropes. It's a good shot, but the fielder being in the right position should have taken that.
Yes, absolutely. It was a beautiful shot too. It was a straight off drive and was going on, and it came right into her hands. Actually, she didn't have to do anything, and she could have just caught that ball because she was right under the ball. Sometimes, it happens, but I'm sure this is going to she's going to feel bad about it because this is a very good opportunity where she could have gotten this wicket.
Well, I played cricket for a very long time. Thank God that there were none of my games being streamed anywhere, so there's no evidence of me having dropped catches because I dropped more than a few in my career. But
it happens, it's natural.
Happen.
It's okay as far as we learn from this. This is the only way out, and the more we play, the more we learn, right?
That's exactly right.
And these kids have got the opportunity to play so many tournaments, and I think that's wonderful.
Oh, you said it exactly right. The opportunity, and this should be, in fact, this is Gitka. Good delivery, forced through the offside. That's a good-looking shot. That might get there for 4. No, just pull back inside at deep third. They run through for a couple. So I've always thought that Gitika is the pace bowler in the women's circuit who most reminds me of the West Indian bowlers of the 70s and 80s.
Yes.
Built very much like a proper fast bowler. She's probably almost my height, so she's probably almost 6 feet tall and runs in and hits the deck hard. I've always loved her as a bowler.
Yes.
And in fact, good delivery here.
Action is just so beautiful.
Her action is beautiful, but if tell me what you think. My first impression was that she's running in at maybe 75%. So she's not necessarily giving all of the energy into these deliveries that she ordinarily would. Some of that may be because of how wet the outfield has been. And you and I were talking about this.
Yes.
You don't necessarily want to run in and get yourself hurt in a truncated match.
Mm-hmm.
But 75% of Gitika Kodali is still plenty quick, first of all.
Yeah.
And she's still very accurate.
She's always very accurate, and I think she's so calculated. Every ball she calculates it the way she wants it, and she knows how to control the speed and the length and line. This is something which she has been exposed quite a bit, and I think her experience says it all as well. Beautiful.
Zipping through to her keeper, who is also her captain, Gitika Kodali. Mentioned earlier about what she does with the bat. Let's talk a little bit about her career with the ball. With the ball in hand on the T20 circuit, 28 overs, 137 runs, and 6 wickets. This is down the leg side, though, and it's going to go for a wide. An average of 22.83, which is a very good average. an economy rate of 4.89. So she's conceding less than 5 runs and over when she bowls. Strike rate of 28 means she takes a wicket every 28 deliveries. A few wides, 21 in 14 matches, so she can stand to fix that. But overall, type of bowler who is just a tremendous, tremendous asset to have in your side.
Very impressive indeed. Very, very impressive.
So if you were handed the reins of coaching this side, meaning the I always want to say ACG because there is a cricket ground in Austin called Austin Cricket Ground, and so every time I want to say ACZ, I default to saying ACG because I say it 10 times a week on average.
I don't blame you, Brian. It's okay. We get it. I think we are watching, and I'm sure the viewers also will know that it is ACZ who you're referring to.
Thank you. If you're coaching ACZ, after this delivery, I'll ask you. This is forced away off the back foot, but there's coverage down there on the boundary. What is it that you could say to them? Because you've just had an over where 26 runs were conceded. And so the score is now at the end of that over 41 without loss. 3 overs, 41 runs, and you're only needing another 41 runs for victory. What are you telling them? What do they need to do to make sure that they keep the scoring within range such that the 5 overs that are to come, that the Houston Hurricanes will not get the remaining 41 runs?
Tight bowling, period. Nothing but tight bowling and tight fielding. Missing catches is not going to help them. So those are crucial for them. And also the bowlers, I think they have to now watch as to who they want to bring in. I think at one end, if they bring in Geetika, and the other end, if they bring in a spinner, I think that would confuse the batsman a little bit, and probably curtail them a little bit also. And fielders play a very important role here. There are times where you can give a very good ball and they could take it from the offside to the leg side. And so they have to be prepared. And as much as we say, batting and bowling is so important, I think fielding is one of the important things.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
Right? And that's where sometimes we lack. And also the field placings. I think so far they have been doing very good. But now let's see. The spinner.
By the way, note that the captain has taken off the batting pad or the keeping pads and is now bowling. So it is now Sahasra Gorla who is keeping, and the captain herself, Ritu Singh, who is now bowling. So she starts out with a dot ball. Once again, a good all-rounder, so generally bowls the right lines and lengths, lofted down, in fact, in the air, just behind the bowler. Not able to get to that one, but 2 deliveries and only 1 run conceded. So good start for her so far.
Amazing. I think Ritu is she baffles me every time. I'm telling you. She hit a century this morning, and now she's just going after centuries and centuries. So I want to see what her record is going to be by the end of this tournament.
My goodness. So here she is. In the air, but there's protection out there on the cover boundary. So 3 deliveries bowled, 2 runs scored. Bearing in mind, 2 overs ago there was 26 runs that came from that over. And so the last 2 overs have been very good. 6 from the over from Geetika Kodali, and now just 2 runs from the first 3 balls from Captain Ritu Singh's over.
I would be here comes.
Yeah, that one, she gets the line wrong. Just a little too straight, giving Tia Gonzalez the opportunity to go down the leg side. Here we see on the replay, I think you'll see that this one is just a little too straight. Yeah, going down the leg side at that
Yeah.
angle. And you see her grab her head, Ritu, because she knows that she got the line wrong. And any good batter will punish you when you miss either length or line.
Correct.
So that goes away for 4.
I love those shots. I'm telling you. It's such a good feel when you hit that.
When you
across.
played, what was your first of all, were you lefty or righty?
Righty.
Righty.
Yeah.
What was
I
your
wish I
favorite
was
shot?
a lefty.
What was your favorite shot?
My favorite shot was pull.
Ah,
I loved it.
for me, favorite shot, and of course I was a lefty. Favorite shot that I would play is that I've found that most right-handers don't bowl well to left-handers. You have to be a high-level type of bowler to not to get the line right. This is swept away behind square. That may get all the way to the boundary for 4, and it does. So after a really economical over to start, Ritu Singh has conceded 2 fours, now 10 runs from the over with just 1 to come. And here we see on the angle again, going down down the leg side. This one was very, very far down the leg side, and easy pickings for Tia Gonzalez. She's now up to 15 from 14. What I was saying was that bowlers had trouble staying off my pads. And the easiest shot in the world to a left-hander is just to pick up from over the wicket. So a high percentage of my runs came in the arc between mid-wickets and square leg.
Wow. That's a beautiful shot. I can only imagine, Brian, because that could have been like a perfect shot right in the middle of the bat.
Oh, my goodness.
Going for a
yes.
4.
Absolutely love it.
What a pleasure to see those strokes, right? Now it's not many of them have those. Either even straight bats, I don't see that much.
Right.
And I miss that actually. If you look at it, a nice cover drive, I don't see that. I want to see someone play straight and play straight shots on the ground and get those 4s or a 6er, right?
I am what you would call a traditionalist. And so I don't care much for switch hits. I don't care much for reverse sweeps. I don't care much for dill scoops. I don't care much for any of those types of shots. For me, a proper cover drive, especially as a left-hander, is still the best looking shot in cricket.
I agree. It's so stylish. All I can say is it's very stylish.
So change of bowling after 5. So change of bowling, bowler coming from the southern end of the ground. This is an appeal for LBW. Let's just say it's a very optimistic appeal.
It is. Why not? Make it interesting.
On the replay, it actually wasn't as optimistic an appeal as I thought. That would have bounced over the top, but not by as much as I thought. So it's a good start. This is Shravya bowling her first over. And off the back foot, that's played away to the sweeper on the offside for a single. So you have coaching duties coming up sometime in the next few minutes, don't you?
Yes, I do. I do, because my team is going to go in and play ACZ again. So let's hope it's a good game. And, it was such a pleasure, Brian, being here with you.
Oh, my goodness. It is absolutely a pleasure. Love talking to you, and what you have to offer to these young cricketers cannot be overstated. Your role is so important.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm humbled by your kind words. Thank you. Thank you. And I will see you soon.
Absolutely. Well, we're here till Sunday, so,
Yes.
there'll be more opportunities for you to come sit right where you are right now.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, viewers. And it was a pleasure, Brian, again, and I'll see you soon.
Fantastic. Talk to you soon. So, where we are in the game, 55 without loss after 4.3. This is Sravia. And she's now bowling to Pooja. Pooja shot 28 from 15. And she strokes it down the ground. That's a good looking shot. But there's protection down there. Picked up at long off. The fielder running around maybe some 3 or so yards to her right, making sure that ball doesn't go away for 4. But runs are coming thick and fast here. You're looking really at this stage at another 26 runs needed. And you go through the offside again. This may have the legs, and it does. Runs away for 4 through extra cover. Oh, look at this replay. This is blasted through the covers. Good looking shot by Tia Gonzalez. Tossed up, and she makes it into a full toss, advancing down the wicket and crashing it through the covers for 4. Really good stuff here. 1 ball remaining, and we're already at 60. Bearing in mind you're only needing 82 to win. And so just another 22 runs needed. 1 ball remaining here in the 5th. Looking to sweep. Ask the question, and it is given. So playing across a pretty straight delivery. Here we see on the replay Sravia getting that one right up in the block hole, very full. So not the type of delivery that you'd want to be sweeping. And I'll tell you, looking at the replay, you could see leg stump and half of middle stump behind the batter that time. So Tia Gonzalez is going to want to go to school on that, because that's not the type of delivery, certainly not at that length, and certainly not on that line. Full delivery should be one that you're playing down the wicket and not one that you're looking to sweep. So she'll go to school on that. But she does lose her wicket. So that is the end of 5. At the end of 5, the score is 60 for 1. So the new batter is Lasya Bandaru. She is yet to face a delivery and continuing to bowl. In fact, this is a new bowl. It's Disha Kaveripakam. And Disha, please forgive me if I didn't pronounce your name properly. I think I did, but just as if I didn't, as they say, charge it to my head and not my heart. Looking to hoist this one away over mid-wicket. Top edge onto her body. I think that may have hit her either shoulder or maybe even the helmet. Let's see on the back foot, and it top edges it onto her shoulder. And I think the disappointment that you see in Pooja's face is because she felt that that was a ball that she could have been able to score off, or should have been able to score off of. Tossed up delivery, and now she goes big, dragging it to deep mid-wicket. What a diving attempt. That is good work. She did not take the catch. That's Geetika Kadali. But that is good work. Sprinting across, and boy, she came very close to catching that. Great effort in the field by the USA national player. After all that, though, it just results in a single. But it very well could have been a wicket. Tossed up and just looking to advance down the wicket was Pooja Shah. She's now 31 from 19. Been there for a very long time. but scoring at a very quick rate. Just another 21 runs. In fact, another 20 runs needed. Looking to sweep. Appeal. Not given. I think you find on the replay that this is heading down the leg side. Oh yeah, well down the leg side. That would have missed everything. And to enhance your credibility with the umpires, they're going to want for you to not appeal for those types of deliveries. Because if you feel the need to appeal for everything, then that limits the times that the umpire will take you seriously. Down the wicket, drives it right back to the bowler for no run. Pooja Shah been there for 21 deliveries. She has 31 runs against her name. Looking to come down. She's tried that a couple of times. This time she does get that ball to go through that fielder, short extra cover for a single. And just one ball remaining here. In fact, that is the end of the over. So the over is finished. 63 runs are on the board. So another 2 overs remaining and 19 runs in which to get them. This is not going to be easy. Or 19 runs to be scored in 2 overs is the target. This is turning out actually to be a much more difficult chase. After the 4 over mark, there were, in fact, after 5 overs, the score was 60. But the last couple of overs, they've dragged things back just a little bit. And so now with 2 overs remaining, 19 runs to go, looking to stroke this down the ground. This is just going to be a single. And so you're needing to score now at the rate of 9.5 and over. In fact, after that single, that rate goes up a little bit. And when the scoreboard updates, we'll give you, in fact, here we go. It's now 9.82. Walking across to the offside, and I think this is going to be a leg by. Watch the umpire. And in fact, no signal from the umpire, so that may have come off of the bat. Either way, it's only a single, which means that the required rate is now over 10. So there's only 10 balls remaining, and they need another 17 runs. The Houston Hurricanes. Slower through the air, looking to go big and missing out. So the noose tightens just a little bit more, and this game is getting that much more interesting. 17 needed from 9. Captain Ritu Singh on the extra cover, or on the circle at extra cover, directing the proceedings. Coming down, thick outside edge, goes to short third. All they'll get is a single. 16 from 8. So you can see with each delivery and with each single, this becomes more and more difficult. So you're going to need to find a way to manufacture at least a boundary or 2 if you're the Houston Hurricanes. Off the back foot, cuts it to backward point. Just another single, though. And once again, it gets that much more difficult. So 7 runs. Make that 7 balls needed. 15 runs to go. And this is good bowling by Stravia. This is her last over, 1 for 12, or her last over the match anyway, because certainly not able to score more than that. This is struck to Ritu Singh at cover or extra cover, and they don't get a run. What a brilliant over. So that is the end of the 9th. Make that the 7th over, which means that only 6 balls remain and still 15 runs to get for the Houston Hurricanes. Now, who is going to bowl the last over? It is going to be Disha. Disha is going to be asked to somehow contain the scoring, and she's going to want to give up 13 runs or fewer in this over. So a relatively tall task at the beginning of the innings, and that task is much more difficult now because Hurricanes are going to need to score 4. And this is lofted in the air, 1 bounce. Oh, and it goes for 4. That's a great effort by the fielder down at the boundary. But it does result in the first boundary. First boundary in a very long time. And so we're into the last over. You need 15 runs from that over, but the first one goes away for 4. And it has to be said, not a very good delivery from Disha. And she's going to want to have that player or have the batter, Pooja Shah, playing down the ground. He cannot bowl a full toss that she's able to pull to mid-wicket. Better delivery and stroke down the ground. This should just be a single. Pick up, and they're coming back for the second. A direct hit. Ask the question of the umpire, and the umpire says no. That is a great piece of work, though. That throw came in flat and hard from long on. Here's the pickup, and here's the throw. And, boy, that may have been a case of the bowler's hand breaking the stumps before the ball got there. So she didn't necessarily collect the ball cleanly. Instead, broke the stumps while the ball was not in her possession. I'm thinking that's what the issue was. Lofted down the ground. Is this catchable? Oh, she could have caught it, but she didn't. And the throw comes in to the non-striker's end. Should have been a wicket, but it results in 2 more runs. So the equation gets more difficult. Here's your replay. Tossed up using her feet to get to that one, and it is right to the hand or into the hands of that fielder at long off, but not able to take the catch. And in the end result, they run 2. So the score is now 76 for 1. They need another 6. Have her play from there. That's what you want to do. That is the best way of keeping her quiet. And now with 2 balls remaining, still 6 runs adrift. So this is coming down to the wire, folks. What can Pooja Shah manufacture in 2 deliveries? You need another 6 runs. Here's the penultimate delivery. On the ground to Captain Ritu Singh. Direct hit, and she's run her out. What a great piece of work. What an absolutely brilliant pick up and throw from Ritu Singh. That ball hit directly to the captain on the edge of the circle at extra cover. Picks it up, probably had a stump and a half to aim at. But a bullseye direct throw. Sees the back of Pooja Shah. Here you see on the replay. Pushed through more quickly and hit flat and on the ground. There's the pickup and the rifle throw bullet. Absolute dead eye. And that is the end of Pooja Shah. What a great piece of fielding by the captain. And so you still need another 6 runs to get, because that's a dot ball that also produced a wicket. So at the end of the innings, 1 more ball is remaining. And you still need 6 runs if you're the Houston Hurricanes. Disha to continue. Knocked her over. That is the end of the game. What a brilliant spell of bowling at the end, and way to hold her nerve in the last over. That is good work by Disha. First, the wicket with the run out, and then walking all the way across was the new batter. We'll have to see who that is. Walking across, looking to pull it away, going across too far, leaving her stumps exposed, and Disha knocking back that middle stump. So that is good work. And again, a testing sort of period, but credit to them, the ACZ Women's Fire, for holding their nerve. And they come away victors. They win this match by 4 runs. Great piece of work. After having scored 82 runs, they then restrict 81 runs rather. They then restrict the Houston Hurricanes to 76 for 2. Just looking at a full scorecard. Houston Hurricanes opening with Tia Gonzalez and Pooja Shah. Tia Gonzalez 21 from 19. Pooja Shah 43 from 31. Lassia Bandaru 2 from 3. And Sainavi Kambalapali not for the bowlers. It is Jessica Wilath Gamua 1 over 9 runs. Adanya Ball a bit of a difficult time with it, 1 over 26 runs. Geetika Kodali 1 over for 6. Ritu Singh 1 over for 11. Sravya Kanamuri 2 overs for 13. And Disha Kaveri Kapam coming in at the end to bowl a really impressive last over, which means that the Houston Hurricanes fall short in their attempt to get to the total. The end of the match sees the ACZ Women's Fire taking victory by the small matter of 4 wickets. So that is the end of the innings and the end of the match. Good, exciting, truncated match. This time we packed all of the pleasure into about 1 hour's worth of play, maybe 60 or 70 or so minutes. But that is the end of the match. So good work by all. But at the end of it, the ACZ Women Fire come out on top. So short break. We'll be coming back to carry our last game of the day. And that last game of the day will be starting, my guess is it's going to start somewhere around 5. And it's going to be the NCCA. No, that was this morning. We're going to see the MCA women against the Chickadee Loudon Cubs. So until then, just hang loose and just watch the YouTube feed for when the next match is going to start. For now, we're signing off from the wonderful Moosa Stadium here in Pearland. This is Brian Walters. See you shortly.